Alright, here's a little bit more physics and fun. We're going to be demonstrating physics with flow arts again, with poi, the ancient art of spinning balls on a string. So, what I'm going to be describing is my favorite move, called the isolation, and very well named, as it is isolating the center point of the string between two perfectly opposing forces, or ideally perfectly opposing. So we're looking at centrifugal force versus centripetal force. There's lots of value in knowing these terms in life, I think, because once you learn them and you learn how they apply in your life, you see it everywhere. Anytime you swing anything around, an ice skater, when they curl their arms in, they increase their rotational speed because there's less centrifugal force pulling against them. And these are theoretical forces, they don't actually exist in nature, they're entirely produced by us, or by whatever is doing the pedaling, or centripetal force. So, the centripetal force is coming from my hand. I'm the one that is executing the motion on this external object. And essentially, I make it spin. I make it completely... This is like maximum centrifugal force that is being displayed by this object. So the centrifugal force is pulling against my hand. So the idea with an isolation is to neutralize those forces, doing this. Creating a center point in the string, which I can't exactly point to. And so what this does is it creates perfectly balanced centripetal versus centrifugal force. And it's also a really cool illusion. Or it creates a very cool illusion. So once again, my centripetal force is coming from this hand, and the centrifugal force is pulling against me. So you could say this is basically 100% centrifugal force, where there's minimal actual motion being made from my hands, and this is neutral. So the force is 50% on both ends. And as such, I am perfectly in tune with nature. So another way to explain centrifugal force is to use a chain. If you've ever done this as a kid with one of those light cord chains, then you're probably familiar with what I'm about to do. Ooh! We have a centripetal force here and here, and we have a centrifugal force here and at the end of the chain. And of course it's only able to do this because the chain is very heavy. You couldn't do this with like a light rope or something. Now what's crazy is you can actually get two of these going at the same time. May need a better background to work with. Yes, okay, so what we see here is my hand with one centripetal force point, another here, and another here. And a centrifugal force point here at the end of this, where it's expanding out, and at the end of where it's expanding here, and at the end of the chain.
Hey Ma, look what I can do! Wow!
That's pretty cool. We also see centrifugal force being taken advantage of in models for gravity simulation in space, which is really neat. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these simulations, so I'll throw some up here on the screen. So the capsules at the end of this cord, if you will, or the bridges that are coming out from the center point, those are all under the influence of as much centrifugal force as can be produced. The centrifugal force creates artificial gravity because the astronauts feel like they're being pulled at the end of that capsule, just like the poi is being pulled at the end of my string. This is the same effect that keeps the moon tethered to the Earth and keeps it rotating around it, except there's no physical connection. There's only the actual force of gravity, which is due to the Earth's sheer mass, which is also really trippy. Enough mass creates actual gravity, and enough gravity can actually warp time. But that's a story for another time. Well, that's all for today's video. If you like this kind of content, please feel free to like and subscribe, and share this stuff with your friends. This channel's still pretty new, and I'm definitely trying to grow it. I appreciate any feedback, and if you found anything that's wrong with this video, or if you have anything more to add, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you next time.